John, want to learn a quick and easy magic trick? I'll show you.
Is it like the Joker when he makes the pencil disappear?
No, it is not like John Wick when he makes the pencil disappear. Take your age, add 2021 to it.
Okay.
Now subtract 2000. Now subtract the legal drinking age in the United States. What are you left with?
No fucking way.
That's right.
No way.
Oh, shit. I'm a fucking magician. That's right. I can also do a card trick, but being this...
No. Do the card trick on the audio podcast.
Okay. All right. I'm going to shuffle something real quick, but you can't hear it because of NVIDIA Broadcast, brought to you by NVIDIA RTX.
I'll be the sound design guy.
Okay. So I'm shuffling. Okay.
The deck's shuffled.
So pick a card, any card from the deck, even though you're not in front of me.
Oh, I smacked my mic, but I picked one.
Okay, excellent. Oh, wow. Your hand came out of the mic and picked one. Okay, excellent. Now I'm not going to look at it, and I'm going to show the card to my microphone.
Okay,
you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
it peeked out of
excellent.
my microphone and I saw it.
Okay, cool. Now I'm going to put it back. I'm in improv hell. I don't know where to go from here.
Shit, I just realized I need to actually know how to do the magic trick.
I went for, like, improv is all about yes and until you hit a point where it's like, no, stop.
Yeah, no, but.
Oh, Christ. Why did I do that to myself?
Oh my god, that's my card!
You're right. I never said it was a standard deck of 52 cards.
Fucking, I don't know why, I'm just imagining you saying that as the freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! OST, the Immortal Duelist or whatever, just playing.
The whole time as I'm like sweating from the stress of trying to keep the improv up.
Passionate duelist, yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, man.
That's the trick, Kaiba. I didn't just splash elemental dragons in my deck. My deck is elemental dragon.
Dude, I really miss elemental dragons so much.
Oh man, you know, it reminds, like, it really, I'm digging the new Guilty Gear update because it was literally like all buffs and some characters got nerfed, but the reason they got nerfed was because of the overall system changes, which buffed their character, like, in the way they worked.
I saw, all I saw about, like, the patch changes were the memes of, like, chip players only seeing like one line and be like, oh, it's fucking bullshit.
All these Leffen tried to post the videos like, I have to work so hard and look at, like, did you block? And it's literally like, yes, Leffen, I did block. And I want him to know that because the mix-up was like, if anybody knows Guilty Gear, if not, this is going to sound so cool and weird to you. All it was like,
cool.
Puts you in a block string. Red RC drifts upward with Ramlethal. Commits to the entire RC drift. So, like, doesn't early cancel it. Like, the whole thing goes. And then as Ramlethal is falling, does an air backdash into jump slash. And it's, and like, that was supposed to be the mix up. And I'm I'm not saying that I'm like the best player in the world, but like, I don't know, unless I'm getting conditioned into the fucking ground, like, if I see an air backdash, like, I'm blocking high. Like,
yeah.
Like, if I see any air movement, so the first thing my brain would see is like
the RC drift
air backdash. Like,
Dude,
yeah,
like-
you're in the air, and then if I see air backdash, my brain immediately is air action high block. You didn't actually press the button yet, but you dash, so my brain is like, okay. And because you dashed backwards, there's no way you can hit me with a low. So, like,
you block high, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Or like,
I was confused. Maybe I'm missing something in his explanation, but to me it was like, dog, like, there is no mix-up there. Like, did you get
that
hit?
man pressed a button. Yeah.
Like, there was no... a mix-up implies there's two outcomes. There was no two outcomes. There was, like... No.
In an optimal situation, the outcome was you block.
Yeah. And I want everybody to know I'm not trying to be like fucking like, oh, Leffen was still whoop my ass if I played him. Like, that's facts. But I get around though.
You get the 1 in the first to 10. You get the 1, and you're like, yeah, I can beat up fucking Leffen any day of the week.
I get the moral victory.
That Johnny boy, that sounds a bit like a fucking hot take when it comes to being a gamer. That was a smooth ass transition, because unfortunately we're recording this before the chapter comes out, so because I'm fucking moving, like,
by the time you're hearing this, Franz will be mid-transit through international moving back to the motherland.
Yeah. So chapter
1029 will be out by the time you hear this.
Yeah. It's not, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
we're wrong.
We're wrong in the future.
Exactly.
But see, it's just gonna be better. I have it all planned out, because we usually give ourselves like 10-ish minutes of like opening banter. We could just use that to cover 1029 the next week.
Exactly. We'll give you a little preview of that. Oh man, it was so sick when insert character did action.
Oh man, it was so sick. I'm actually inside baseball, the official like One Piece Twitter account.
Yeah.
OPCom_info. They always post the first panel of the new chapter like a couple days before it releases.
Yeah.
And I'm literally seeing Queen holding a sword, Sanji standing straight, and the blade is just like flying away.
Yeah, that's sick as fuck. Actually, that is your coverage for chapter 1029.
Yeah, that's it. Anyways, now to 1030. No, actually, all right. We're not a One Piece future telling fan cast yet, but we're
not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. But we're Paramecia Fancast, the One Piece fancast, where we read the latest chapter of One Piece and have different One Piece related discussions every single week, except this week because my name is John.
My name is Franz, and
please tell them what we're about to get into, because I'm ready.
I woke up today. I'm kind of prairie dogging. I'm choosing violence.
Franz chose war as soon as they woke up.
So I'm straight up. Today, what we're doing is just like anime and manga hot takes. Like, for me, it's mostly anime, but like, I mean, it's all the same pie, you know?
It's all slices from the same pie, from the same pizza pie.
So I just want to bring shit up that grinds my gears, and you probably will disagree with me in some way, but fuck you, I'm right.
That's the fun of it. We're choosing war today.
Right.
Who's going first? You want to start us off?
If I go in order of like my fuck it, I'm just gonna go in order of like my notes, because it's like straight up actual just violence. Neon Genesis Evangelion is like nowhere near deep. Like, not fucking at all. This is well documented.
Yes.
Like, this honestly shouldn't even have to be said anymore. But like, when the Netflix redo came around, it had to be said. The new movie came out a couple months ago. It had to be said again. Like, what it is, the best way to consume Neon Genesis Evangelion is to think what is going through Hideki Anno's mind at this given moment. Personally, I think he is a good director, not a great writer. But
Yeah.
that aside, I'm talking about his artistic motivation in the project. Neon Genesis Evangelion very much reads as a, like, fuck you to fans. Fuck you to, like, otaku and shit.
Yeah. I mean, he's been
And,
super
like,
open about that too, but like,
he fucking hates Neon Genesis Evangelion fans.
dude, he hates gamers, and I agree.
Like, he's just right. And then the culmination of his hatred of otaku is the scene in the first movie that wasn't like like rerun.
The rebuilds or whatever.
Yeah,
the first
not,
actual movie.
Yeah, not the rebuild, the like end of Evangelion. That's what it was.
Okay, yeah.
Where Shinji just like masturbates and comes all over his hand, and he's like, "I'm so fucked up." That was Anno telling fans, "You're so fucked up that you just wanted this. You wanted this." He didn't want to make End of Evangelion, but like the fans wanted it, therefore the studio wanted it. And that's just a continuation of Eva, all the way to the last movie where like Anno just threw his hands in the air and gave up and was like, "Fine, you get what you want. You get what you want. Fuck me, I guess. Fuck me."
Yeah, in the last movie, I know that there's a whole bunch of stuff that's like callbacks to like old ass like tokusatsu shows and shit like that.
Some, yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool. And it kind of reads as like, oh, like, I don't know. I feel the consensus. I haven't watched the fourth movie, by the way, for anybody who's
it's
wondering.
Not good.
Yeah. But like all I've heard about it and all I know is that like from what I've heard from people talking about it, I can infer that it's very much you can tell where his priorities lie. Where it's like, I mean, he does like what he really wants to do is finish Shin Ultraman and do Shin Kamen Rider.
Yes.
And then he announced that he's doing some other Shin movie that's like some old show that he like grew up with, and it's like that's what he wants to do. He just wants to make hype tokusatsu.
Like he wants to relive his childhood and remake it in his image. Is that a great thing? We'll see. But like Shin Godzilla was pretty good, so
Shin Godzilla. That just reminds me of oh god. Quick tangent. So there's a Japanese player, Goichi, who plays a whole bunch of anime games, but got really popular when Dragon Ball Fighters came out because him and Sonic Fox's like rivalry was like legendary in that game.
Oh yeah.
They're like the two best players, and they constantly go back and forth. But he came to some tournament, Goichi, and he had this like book, and before the matches he would flip through the pages really fast. Like fast enough to where you couldn't read it. And then the commentator's like, "Oh, like Goichi told someone that like it's his like speed reading technique. Like he'll speed through the pages and like it kind of gets his brain warmed up to like recognize like it like pumps up his reactions or whatever." And we were watching this tournament, and me and one of our personal friends, Billy, our close friends, was like, "Man, that like I have better reactions than him." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, I watched Shin Godzilla with subtitles. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, dude, it is awful. I was trying to watch it on Netflix the other day, and straight up the amount of subtitles coming on screen were like overwhelmed the subtitle system, and like it just at some point it just wouldn't display anything. Yes. And so like the three of us watching, like we all speak Japanese, so like we were like kind of okay, but it was still kind of like bothersome because like some of the legalese would come up, and we're like, well, fuck us, I guess.
Oh god. But yeah, so Evangelion, I agree. It's And I was listening to someone talk about it. I think it was the Trash Taste podcast. They were talking about the fourth movie, but one of them brought up that like there's some video of like these people going nuts, like, oh my god, like the symbolism, like when the angels explode, like they turns into crosses, and like it's got all this like symbolism, bro. It means,
Dude,
like,
it just
Christianity.
looks cool.
And then they literally, there's an interview that exists with Hideki Anno, and they're like,
Yes.
so like the Christian themes, like when the angels explode, and he's like, what? And they're like, he's like, themes, like that explosion just looks cool. And like that, and that's where the question was dropped. And I'm like, yes,
Dude, that's all, enough said about that.
yeah.
What's yours?
You can call Sasuke edgy all you want, but at the end of Naruto, his plan was like more well thought out than Naruto's, and Naruto only got his way because Boo Boo protagonist, and I'm pissed.
I'll agree with you. I won't say it's a good plan, but I will agree that it's better. It just feels like
You know what it was?
but worse.
You know what it was? It was Code Geass, but worse. And the way he presents it, like, oh my god. Alright. Look, Sasuke, if he's anything, he's edgy, and he's a showman. And those are the two worst things you could be.
Oh, for fucking sure.
When this man comes back after learning the truth from the Hokage, gives his friends no explanation, and just straight up says, I'm going to be Hokage.
I'm gonna be a terrorist now, but also the Hokage.
But he's straight up, like, he's like, oh, it's time for revolution, and like, he does all this shit, and you're like, dude, like, why are you so evil? And then he literally explains his plan to Naruto, and he's like, dude, all 5 of the Kage are literal war criminals, like, they need to be taken out. They're responsible for all of the shit. And he's like, so if I take them out, I'll become the one villain. Because the whole reason you guys are all friends right now is because of Madara. Because he was the true villain. And so all of the countries work together to fight Madara. And he's like, so in the state we're in, like, the only way true peace is gonna exist is if there's a true villain, like, forever. And I can be immortal with this jutsu, dude. Just let me. And yeah, some of that plan was kind of dumb. But like, he explains it, I'm like, well, yeah. Like, the Kage had a cool fight with Madara, but they are all pretty much responsible for like everything that's happened.
Everything that's happened. Yeah, no. Like, he makes good points in like what he's saying. Like, he's not wrong in some of the things that motivate him. Yeah. It's just like, his plan is silly overall, but at least he has a plan, whereas Naruto is like, I'm gonna punch Madara.
Naruto's plan, I think at the end, was literally like, oh, like, I'm gonna become Hokage and like work together with everybody. And then he's like, well, what if they don't want to work with you? He's like, well, I'll pound some sense into him. And he's like, well, what if I turn on you again? He's like, I'll beat your ass again. I'm like, this doesn't, like... Okay.
Yeah.
It's chapter 699. Okay. Like, okay.
Dude, Adri finished her read through of Naruto. It was like 11:30 before she had to go to work. She was in bed already, and she was just like, man, fuck this.
It's so true.
But I see what you're saying. It
was, you know what it is? It's scuffed Code Geass.
That's literally what it is.
Because like, I watched the end of Code Geass, and all I can just lead into another one. Code Geass is one of my beloved nostalgic anime, and I really like it.
You used to watch it every year.
Yeah.
Like, go through a rewatch.
It's there's just some parts of it that are fucking bad.
Dude, like what's her fucking name? Mary, the orange-haired one?
Oh, Shirley,
like, she didn't
spoilers
have to
for
die.
Code Geass.
It's fucking like a decade old.
It's like 20 decades old. Okay, listen. Look, Shirley dies in the show, and the funniest part is the Code Geass movie that came out recently, the Lelouch of Resurrection or something like that.
Yeah.
I watched it, and that movie takes place in the movieverse. To which I realized that they pulled a Gurren Lagann with Code Geass, and there's two movies that are the entire series, but they cut out like all of the bullshit. So all of the shit with Mao is just gone, which means Shirley is alive the entire time. And like
there's
seeing
a movie verse?
Yeah, I saw her and like Shirley was alive, and I was like, oh my god, like already this is the best movie. Like this is the best movie ever. Like yes, yes, 1,000 times.
Is
yes.
like Suzaku's like replacement, like Lelouch's quote unquote younger brother at the start of season 2, like there at all? Because I also think that was horseshit.
He's still graveyard dead. He died in the series, and he died in the movieverse.
Thank God.
But the movieverse starts off, the plan worked. Like, the plan worked. World peace, like, was achieved. And then there's some, like, terrorist group that's like, they have a Geass. It's all, like, they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, this whole thing. But, like, the world is at peace. Suzaku is still Zero. Like, I don't think anybody knows he's Suzaku other than like Colin, I think she knows.
Sounds about right.
The greatest theory of all time is true in the movieverse. And it's just great.
Baby.
Lelouch was in the haystack. The question for years, was Lelouch the driver of the cart with the hay, or was he hiding in the haystack? I can confirm he was hiding in the haystack.
Do you think Code Geass is worth a rewatch though?
I'd still say yeah. It's worth a rewatch, but like you have to like it's worth a rewatch. You have full authority to skip all the Mao shit because it's so stupid and it slows everything down and it doesn't matter.
Do you think it's worth watching the movieverse then?
The movies are good, yeah. The third movie is like just ultimate fan service. Like Lelouch of the Resurrection is just like, you know how Jean Grey in Marvel Comics is an Omega level mutant? That movie was Omega level fan service. Like it had no shame with what it was doing, and I was there for it.
All right, I can respect that.
But the movies are good. From what I know, the movies are literally just the show, but like it's just brotherhoodified, just Gurren Lagann. Like everything is just more succinct and better in the movies.
That's gonna like hit to my next hot take, where I don't even know if it's a hot take. We don't have to spend time on it because like now that I'm thinking about it, it's really just not a hot take. Original anime is much better than something that's sourced. So like Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, like they're not flawless. They're very flawed. But
Code Geass, I think Code Geass is an adaptation.
I think there's adaptations that came from it. Because
I'd have to double check because there is a manga, but the manga doesn't have mechs. The mechs were like added in by Sunrise. I think the manga came out first.
I'm gonna double fucking check. Because here it says the anime first broadcast in 2006, and nope, the manga's 2008.
Oh, what? So the manga just sucks. There's no robots.
I have to agree. Like that's at least some of the fucking like pull.
That's my hot take. If you take the robots out of something, it sucks.
For sure. But like most things that Trigger does, even like before when they were Gainax, some things that IG Productions do, like it depends, or like on and off. Like they have like A and B teams, kind of. Or is it Production IG, whatever. So they're everything that Shinichiro Watanabe does, the guy who did Cowboy Bebop.
Code Geass.
Yeah, Code Geass again. The guy who did Cowboy Bebop, like they are still with their flaws, but they're meant and created specifically for animation.
Yeah.
And they don't have to they don't have to inherit flaws from manga that has a weird production cycle. With its weekly serialization, you don't know when stuff is going to get cut, when it's going to continue, if an anime's production goes faster than the manga production, etc., etc. Like, you don't have to worry about that shit. It's original, it's what it is. So, I think more anime should be original, but we are heading away from that and into the light novel zone, where I will go into my next point.
You hit me with a hot take combo.
The combos, baby.
The hot take infinite.
Light novels are going fucking nowhere, and like they've been here forever. And so a lot of people have been like saying like, oh, manhwa and webtoons might come in and burst the light novel bubble when it comes to like sourcing for anime, right?
I got a DHC hot take.
Shit.
I'll let you finish,
Okay.
but I got a team hyper combo.
So this bubble is not gonna burst because outside of Japan, no one reads light novels, right? Absolutely fucking no one. The same way that outside of Japan, no one is on the fucking board of these like animation studios. No one's a producer on these things. So the projects that are going to be seen as like financially suitable are going to be domestic projects that are like oversaturating what they are seeing, because Japan's current like media consumption is nowhere near globalized unless you're 50 years old, in which case you're still watching Grey's Anatomy and NCIS. But like the stray webtoon or manhwa might come in and get like one adaptation a year or something, but it will not defeat light novels, much to my disappointment as anyone else's.
Much to my chagrin.
All right, tap in.
Tap in. Oh, we had talked about light novels. We had a whole episode where we rage wrote our own light novel because we hated isekai light novels so much. But okay, my hot take is that they're okay, manhwa, the majority of manhwa is just kind of bad. And I don't mean that as like taste-wise. I mean like I can see the reason, and the stories like, look, I've tried to read a lot of them, and the stories are just like they just like some of them either don't make sense. There's like a whole bunch of plot holes, or like it's just bad pacing or something. I don't know. They all seem very amateurish, but I think it's because
it
like,
is amateurish.
It is amateurish, yeah. Like because look, I won't knock like webtoons are like the medium of like manhwa is so good for
excellent.
It's literally perfect for like to get any beginner artist to put stuff out.
Right. No,
because
it's
is so easy. Like you don't have to worry about paneling because your panels are how you scroll on the phone, which presents its own kind of, like its own takes on like the page turn and stuff like that.
It's very interesting, yeah.
It's very easy to get into a manhwa and just start reading. Like the medium as a whole, I think it's good. I like it.
It's like podcasting for like a visual like reading medium, because they're like aggregated on these apps. For webtoons, you straight up just go to the like webtoon line app.
Yeah.
Like it's just that easy. But you're totally right that it is amateurish, because these are people who they are good artists, but they might be their first writing venture.
Yeah.
And that is fine.
And I don't mean that in like, I'm not trying to say like you specifically manhwa artists are horrible and I hate you, but it's just like,
no.
I see so many people like on Twitter and everything like gassing up like up and coming manhwa, and I'm like, cool. But then like they'll straight up go out like they'll just start swinging, and they'll be like, oh, it's better than like anything Shonen Jump has to offer, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm biased, but like let's take our dearly beloved, may they rest in peace, Phantom Seer, like,
Dude.
you know. Phantom Seer was godlike, and the story was way more held together than fucking Solo Leveling, dude. Oh my god! Like, can I tell? Let me pop off for a little bit. Solo Leveling is bad. Like, it's just there is no stakes at any point in the series, and it only exists like the entire manhwa of Solo Leveling is the Ichigo Bankai moment. Over and over and it's he got the artist got the essence of Ichigo Bankai of Six-Tailed Naruto versus Pain of Gear 4th Luffy versus Doflamingo. He got the extracts of that moment. And you know, if you've done any cooking with extracts, they're very powerful, and you use them sparingly because they can overpower the flavor. This man said, "Fuck it." He poured all of them into one bowl and went at it.
The vanilla extract, you literally have to break the bottle in order to use the whole bottle. And that's what this man did.
That's what he did. And look, Solo Leveling is popping off. And anybody who likes Solo Leveling, you're good in my book. You enjoy it to your heart's content. It just gets...
We're out here liking Naruto and Bleach.
Yeah,
like, we're not,
I like Naruto and Bleach, so trust me, I am not punching down at all. But like, dude, I don't know. I read these manhwa, and they're just like, a lot of them that I've read that are up and coming, they're just very amateur. But if I can turn this hot take into like a positive note, like I said before, I think that's a really good thing, and I am very interested where manhwas go, because I think like it's not there yet, but what people are saying, they're like the early adopters. People right now are like, yo, this is gonna be better than like manga. So I think it could eventually get to that point. And there already are some that I've heard are really good. Like I've read a bit of Tower of God.
I've heard it's okay.
Like,
yeah,
it's pretty good so far. I'm not like caught up or anything, so it might get better or worse, but from what I've read, I was like, okay, yes, it's okay, it's pretty good.
Like, what it does, it's like, it's similar to how people like Bob Ross, because he has made art available to loads of people, and it's made it possible for people to get into it incredibly easily. Like, manhwa and webtoons are the same way, where it has made it possible for people to get in without having to fucking join a contest for Shonen Jump that happens every year, and like only recently was opened to like foreign applicants, and even still the foreign applicants, I believe, are in a separate category.
Yep.
So like, no, it's a fucking head of its game. I'm gonna jump into something different, not to end the combo, but something that like, okay, this is like peak like 2010 12-ish discourse, but like Madoka Magica was pretty good. Okay, yes, granted this and that, but like it didn't have to deconstruct like the magical girl genre. Like it wasn't the first to do it, it wasn't the most important to do it, it was just the loudest to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the loudest with the most money.
Right. Like, so Gen Urobuchi, the like screenwriter for it, he is very like dark and edgy, not in a bad way. That's just like his visual medium, essentially. Because another good example is Fate Zero, the prequel to like Fate Stay Night. It's like incredibly dark, and like it's not like super hard to get through, but like if it's not your thing, it's it's hard to stomach. Madoka Magica is just the same, and like it is definitely like grim dark that hit at exactly the same time where like comics were doing the grim dark stuff, where like the Dark Knight trilogy had just finished and everyone was like, wow, like comic book heroes could be like more realistic or whatever. Like, Urobuchi really like hit his stride right at that same time. But like, if you're looking for like an actual like deconstruction of like the magical girl genre and like actual like departure from what the genre usually is, just like a shallow Monster of the Week kind of like, here we sell toys. Like, Precure is still that, but from what I understand, like modern Precure is actually like very well written and actually like takes what used to be just character tropes that were very 2D and actually writes characters out. So like, but without like killing a girl or whatever. Like the term is trauma porn. We don't have to do that.
Without chewing her frickin' head off.
Exactly. Like, it was just really weird how back then, like, there were a bunch of dude bros metaphorically jerking off to, like, little girls dying. I was like, okay, wow, great. So, I don't know. I feel like that is a pretty hot and spicy take, but, take it or leave it. I'm right, fuck you.
Hey, I'll take it. Shit, I'm trying to think of a hot take that's character development. People need to learn what character development is. That's my hot take. Deku is a good character, a well-developed character. Bakugo is like
even
the
more
most developed, and is like Bakugo's journey in the series. Bakugo is the best character in My Hero. I will fight anyone on that.
Like,
he has had the most meaningful development. Yeah, it's so good. And my hot take is that people who complain about My Hero character development are like, you're dumb. Like, I think like you need to, I don't know. I don't know what you or I need to do about this, but you need to stop.
Weirdos will justify it by saying that, like, Bakugo, for example, like, his development is out of character. And, like, wholehearted disagreement, like, you're completely wrong. It is more so that, like, he has a very, like, how would I say this?
He's one of the few characters who had, like, when introduced to us, had such a limited view of the world.
Yes.
That shaped his entire being. And watching as the series progresses, his views actively change, and his struggle to adapt to that change, finally culminating, spoilers, in the most recent chapters where he literally is like, I'm like, sorry, Deku.
Yeah, like I'm everything
sorry,
I've done to you was wrong.
Yeah.
Like they were both on the same page for a while, but like instead of doing some like shonen shit where like they fought it out or this and that, like it just culminated in like talking it out.
Yeah. And the same thing with people. I see people like online, like Deku at like they screenshot Deku at his literal lowest point when he's like by himself with the shadow, like all the fucking really harsh like lines when he was like ready to like die basically. They see that, and then they share a panel of him crying when his friends are trying to break through to him, And they're like, oh wow, like all that character development down the drain. I'm like, you don't know what you don't
No,
you don't
he was
you're saying words,
devolving.
you don't know what they mean.
He like that arc was literally Deku regressing.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst version of himself possible. It was like My Hero as a whole is straight up Deku learning to not be by himself, to depend on others and like use others' strength. And he is dependent on so many people for everything up until that point.
Yeah.
Because he was just being a fucking dumbass.
Yeah. It's like Deku, he's friends with all of them, but like throughout the entire series, he is still the outcast because he's the one who has to learn how to use, like it's a brand new quirk and he doesn't know like how things work now, and he's just thrusted into this world. And it's
he's
like,
also
bro,
the outcast because of like his like secret and the fact that he has to like he's inherited this huge legacy. Like he's not the only one like that, but
ever since the start of the series, he has been like the outcast. Like he's constantly having to keep this secret and he's on his own and he feels like he can't rely on anybody because he can't tell anybody. And it's like, bro, I mean that puts into perspective why the ending of the second movie was so good and why Horikoshi had that as one of the possible endings. Because spoilers for the second movie if you haven't seen it. I mean, spoiler alert. You should watch it if you haven't. Like, I would stop this and watch it and then come back.
Yeah.
It is very good, but spoilers in 3, 2, 1. The final moment where Deku and Bakugo are like about to like die to this guy's quirk, and Deku turns to Bakugo and he says, "There is only one way we can beat him." And Bakugo's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like he can't stand, like, you know, he barely can handle one for all, but I know he couldn't handle two. And Bakugo's like, "What are you talking about?" And he sees the blood dripping off his finger because their hands are bleeding. And Bakugo realizes and is like, "No, like you can't do this." Like, the whole point is that he's willing to confide in Bakugo and give up the thing that made him a hero in the first place just to save the day. And it's like, dude.
And
so
that
good.
is like the definition of heroics.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Horikoshi's got his old, like, you know, like My Hero ain't perfect by any long shot, but holy hell, like its messaging is very consistent.
Yeah.
And it, like, its themes are super, it's like so well written.
And the characters are so good. See, if you want a rather than, Bakugo and Deku are like bad characters that don't get developed, I would more agree with somebody whose hot take was like, some of the other characters in the class need more development. Cause
for fucking sure.
Like, I praised My Hero in the beginning for being what Part 1 Naruto failed to do in Part 2 going into Shippuden. Because Part 1 Naruto, we get introduced to all these characters, like the Sasuke retrieval arc, getting to like spend actual moments of time like with Choji and
right,
not Shino, Akamaru and Kiba and Neji again, and like these secondary characters that never got the light of day getting the moments is like, dude, that's cool. And we get some of it in like My Hero, but it also, like Naruto, has like reached a point, I would say still not as bad, but it's reached the point where the coming into focus, it's like, okay, it is about, like, in the end game we're in, it is going to be about Deku and Shigaraki. Like, those are going to be the two focal points. Like, the other characters are going to be there, but like those are the Naruto and Sasuke.
Exactly.
I still believe that it's doing a better job of characterizing all of the other classmates more so than Naruto did.
For fucking sure. Like, we can at least remember like some of the other people's names. Like, you know,
Like Sugar Kid.
No, I know his name's like Sato, but that's because that's sugar in Japanese. Fuck you. I think this is my spiciest one, and this is the one where like I might not be completely right because I don't know exactly how to say it. How to like complete the idea. So I'm just gonna come out the cage swinging. A lot of people are gonna get hurt, but like I don't like. Do not take me in completely bad faith, okay? But I'm coming out swinging. Dragon Ball is not that good.
Oh no! Okay, if you had said Dragon Ball Z is not that good, I would agree.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm like. I mean, Dragon Ball in its entirety.
In its
but
yes, okay, in its entirety,
like, weighing into like I'm not like super like cherry picking like super. I'm not cherry picking GT like. You know, those have their own issues.
No, I see what you're saying.
Like, as a whole, the franchise that it has become, it's just not that good. I will say the SpongeBob meme, but wait, it is iconic, it is important, it is a blueprint. But if you like went back and read it and like very critically went through it, it's just not that good.
Yeah, it has its issues.
And
you know, there's like interviews and
manga
of, like,
issues too. Like not just unique to Dragon Ball. Like Dragon Ball suffers because of like it was a manga that they were like, okay, do more, and he was like, oh yeah, fuck, it man, was sure.
Like, it had to have been one of like, well, I don't know if I can say one of the first ones. But it was probably the biggest one that like became a global like phenomenon.
Right. In how it held. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, the fucking that time where like in like downtown Mexico City they were playing like, was it the movie or like one of the last episodes?
So for Dragon Ball Super, this is now going to turn into our to take a book out of to steal from the macro is a podcast within a podcast. This is going to be Latin America Loves Dragon Ball. So for Dragon Ball Super, when it came back, it was like, mind you, the first couple episodes of Super was just Battle of the Gods, but worse. Yes, and then the next couple episodes were Resurrection F, but worse. And people were still hype as hell for it. Like, they're going nuts. And then it was like the next arc after that, I think, was like it was the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, and then Future Trunks and Zamasu, and then Tournament of Power.
Yes.
And by the time we hit Tournament of Power, everybody over the globe was like losing their shit because the series had just set up this Jiren guy, and he's just the strongest, and he could beat everybody. But Goku has Ultra Instinct, and he might be able to beat him. And for the last 2 episodes of like, because Toei went all out, they were like, these are the final, they started, I think, the countdown at like the final 5 episodes. And I was like, oh, there's only 4 more episodes left until the end. And then like the last 2 episodes, you can search this up on YouTube. Search up any major Latin American city, space, Dragon Ball Super, space, and then whatever the second to last or last episode is. And you, like, there were cities where, like, in the giant town square, they had projectors, and they played for the entire city to just come and watch the final episodes of Dragon Ball Super. There was one city, I think it was in Mexico, that got a cease and desist by Toei, because Toei was cool with it until this city decided to try to sell tickets to it, and then they were like, okay.
Oh, okay.
They were like,
that's what happened.
They're like, we appreciate that you love the series, but you can't make money off of our show. Like you can show it for free, but if you sell tickets, we're gonna have to shut you down. And they had like a post in all Spanish. They're like, okay, guys, like, it's gonna be free. Like, you can come on down. Like, we got it. You know, we're still gonna show it. Like, and even like, man, Latin America loves Dragon Ball. There's even the meme Taqueria Goku. It's some taqueria in like Mexico that Goku is just like the mascot
painted
for.
on the sign. Yeah.
There's shit. When I was growing up, I lived in Arizona and I lived very close to the border. And I distinctly remember somebody's birthday party and their Mexican family members brought all of the decorations and like little toys and stuff. And they were all like Dragon Ball GT. Mind you, at the time, we weren't even finished with the Cell Saga in the dub that was coming over from Japan.
Dude. Like, South America was way ahead.
Yeah. Like, I remember seeing, like, the Cell Saga, and then walking into my friend's house, and he's watching a Spanish dub, and all I see is Trunks in a 3-piece suit at Capsule Corp, getting out of a car to talk to Pan and Goku, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, who are these people? Like, why?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's iconic. It's literally the reason why people got into anime. Like, no one can fucking deny that.
Yeah.
And there are moments upon moments where it's like hype. It is just like, it is the blueprint of hype. But what I'm getting at is that, like, it suffers from things that, like, all manga suffer from, where, like, the serialization, like, model that Japan uses for manga kind of leaves authors, like, up in the air about, like, how long their series should be, or, like, when's it gonna fucking end. So
yeah, I mean, there is the there's like interviews about it where like, or there's stories that are written about it and interviews, I think, with Toriyama, where like he wanted to end it after Frieza, and like from Frieza onwards, every arc onwards, like you can read the series and just know in the back of your mind that like he wants it to end, but his editors will not let him end it.
No, because it's a money-making machine.
Yeah.
So like that's something like out of his control, and like it really isn't, like, you know, it is an issue with Dragon Ball, but this isn't a dig at Toriyama. My digs at Toriyama are that he just wants to do fucking Dr. Slump. That's what he wants to go back to.
He just wants to write gags. That's all he wants. And I
respect that.
Let him write the goddamn gags. I do like that the Dragon Ball Super author, like, there was an interview with him because it's done by the author of Dragon Ball Super, the artist and the author, like, the story is run by Toriyama and he gets final say at like what you know, he has like a final say in what is and isn't allowed. But there's an interview, I forget who did it, but they're talking to him and they said, he was like, oh, there was one time like I gave a couple of pages worth of like story to Toriyama and I thought, you know, that it was pretty good. And he's like, and it came back with all of these notes. And he's like, and I thought like, oh my God, like, you know, I just ruined my hero's manga. Like, oh my God. He goes, and then he read it. And what it was that there was a gag that was like, the guy kind of drew and hinted at. And Toriyama literally redrew the entire scene to emphasize the gag. And he wrote all these notes like, oh no, this needs to happen because the gag is funny this way. So if it happens this way, it'll be so much more funnier. Look. And he redrew the page and the panels just for the gag. And I'm like, dude, that's all he wants to do.
It really is. And like, he deserves the space for it. The last thing I will say on all of this, though, Goku's just not a good character. He's not like fleshed out or anything. He is a good, like, natural disaster, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he's a force of nature. He is one-dimensional, just like a hurricane is. A hurricane doesn't have motivations, doesn't have this. It's just going to go through and do what it does.
Yeah.
Goku does what he does.
Yeah, he is a good, like, I forget what the word is, but like stoic hero. Like, he doesn't change. The story has to change with what he does. Like, his actions are what cause everybody in the story to like do what they do, because nobody's gonna talk about him. You know, nobody can stop him. He is like a literal natural disaster. No, I can agree. It's Dragon Ball as a whole is pretty, like, it's not the best.
Yeah.
My deep-seated love for OG Dragon Ball makes me need in my brain to make the clarification, because I love original Dragon Ball so much, and I don't want Z and everything past to taint like this perfect little journey.
John, just to say fuck you specifically, I've just cock the gun. I can't make the gun noises because NVIDIA will take that away. But like Dragon Ball, No Z Super, etc. was the most racist.
Oh, it was. It was. I'm rereading it right now. It's so good and so lighthearted, but I haven't seen Mr. Popo yet. and I haven't had the world tournament happen yet. And I know there's going to be some stuff that I'm going to have to deal with.
Yeah, dude. Like, the fact that it's not just Mr. Popo and it's a lot of the tertiary cast.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man. Of course.
But look, if you take all that
it was
out,
the
man.
times. It wasn't like it's not necessarily like Toriyama's fault, because he had like cartoons and there wasn't the understanding of the context of cartoons, that cartoons directly came from minstrelsy.
Yeah.
So like that kind of context like was not going to come through. Like no one should ever call like Toriyama a racist. He just doesn't know anything. Which isn't much better to say about someone, but it is more true.
Yeah. Man, dude, we rustled some jimmies this episode.
Like,
I, for one, look, I want to hear other people's hot takes. I want to hear people's hot takes. I am not. I just want to hear these hot takes. I don't want to argue with these hot takes. I don't even want to. Yeah. I just want to like see what people are thinking, because man, like some of ours people are probably
Shakira,
what
no
are you
fighting.
Talking about? Yeah, no fighting. Nanako from Persona 4, no fighting. That's good. That's us. I beg that nobody tries to fight us or each other.
Right. Because like at the end of the day, like these are opinion. Like I'm not like people, of course, still love Dragon Ball for very good reason. I'm not trying to fight with the entirety of South America. Like,
I can sit here and say, Matt, Dragon Ball's overrated as fuck. It's so bad, bro. Like, I hate it. And be like, oh, that's cool. Hey, did you watch the final episode of Dragon Ball Super? Yeah, dude, I've watched it like 7 times. That final fight with Jiren, Frieza, and Goku in 17 is so hype. Like, I lose my shit every time.
Dude, same thing
to
about,
this
like,
day on my phone. If I type Jiren, it autocorrects the Jiren Goku Frieza 17 final fight. And I watch that video like far too often. It's so, dude, like yeah, Dragon Ball's mid, yeah, okay, but you can't see Jiren like in complete silence just start screaming and not get hype.
Dude, exactly. Like, all of these things are still with their merit. The only anime without merit is Hitalia.
Yeah.
And that's not even a hot take.
We ended the episode with a pretty well-respected take.
That'll do it for us this week. We'll be back next week with, and this is something we're not too sure about, but probably we'll be back next week with a bit of chapter 1029 and a bit of chapter 1030. We just didn't want to leave you hanging this week.
Yeah. We figuring the homies deserve some goddamn content. And what better way? I feel like you planned this perfectly. You dropped the hot takes. People are going to want to scream, but you're 10,000 miles up in the air in an airplane in the middle of international waters where no one can stop you.
If you would like to come at me with your hot takes, please go to this airport, this airline terminal, this plane number on this date, this road, this seat.
Oh my god, you guys can't see it, but he's literally showing all of this information on screen.
Oh, I'm doxing myself, baby. Come at me. Oh, God. If you really do want to come at us with hot takes of your own or hot takes about our hot takes, our Discord link is available on all our social media. It's on our Twitter, on our Facebook, on our YouTube. The permanent invite link is up there. Speaking of Twitter, we are at Paramecia Cast right there and Paramecia Fancast everywhere else. We are in the works of bringing up some other social media. Like we mentioned last week, the whole moving and all, there's a lot of busyness going on with the both of us.
Yeah.
So it won't be soon, but we're looking into it. We're expanding.
Yeah, we're expanding. Like Donkey Kong, we're expanding dong.
Exactly. Our episodes go up every Monday. I don't know what time, but hey, soon I'll know what fucking time zone and shit.
Hey,
ain't that fucking exciting?
Every Monday following the official Sunday release, the episodes are up on the hosting site, parameciafancast.libsyn.com. But as soon as they're uploaded there, they're sent to every single podcatcher. The main ones being like, you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We are on Amazon Music now, and I got an email from Amazon on our podcast email, like talking about like promotional shit. But let me go to it. There's a thing in there that's literally like, you can talk to your Alexa and have it like play. You can ask it to like play. It's like, oh Alexa, play the name of the podcast, and then like it'll play it.
Huh.
So I
could it not do that before?
I guess it probably could have, but I don't know. They sent me like a PowerPoint, and I thought it was neat.
Damn, look at us getting business emails. No sponsors yet, though. Damn.
No sponsors yet. Yeah, hold on. It's the promo voice kit. You can, Alexa, play the podcast, and then say the podcast title, and it'll like play our episodes.
People don't necessarily listen to podcasts like open speakers, like instead of headphones. But
yeah,
Alexa, play Paramecia Fancast. Hey Siri, play Paramecia Fancast.
Hey Google, play Paramecia Fancast. hey Google, play Paramecia Fancast.
Hey, don't stop. Don't stop. All three of you, don't stop.
Keep going. Hey Siri, louder. Hey Google, louder.
Override control. Hey Google, dox me.
Google, hack the mainframe.
Hey Siri, wait, probably not. Hey Amazon, lights off.
You just turned someone's power off.
I doubt it. Because look, if you do not listen to podcasts with headphones on like a normal person, I'm kidding, you deserve this.
Yeah, if you're listening to this in the open, you deserve this. Final hot take. You deserve this podcast thrashing we've given you.